Hi there, people of the Taihe civilization form. My name is Lucy. I am a researcher and academic outreach at the Institute for Climate Change and Sustainable Development at Tsinghua University. We're a climate policy think tank residing in the university. In my free time, I really like to focus on impact-driven initiatives. I am the organizer for a social entrepreneurship makeathon called Global Solutions Festival. This is a 2-day makeathon that focuses on the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. It was first initiated in Swordsman College at Tsinghua University back in 2016. In addition to that, I'm also a global shaper at the World Economic Forum, where I focus on advocating climate within the Beijing community. So a little bit of a background information about the Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goals are introduced, initiated, and organized by the United Nations. There are a few keyword numbers that you want to remember. 2030, 17, 3, and 169. So 2030 is the deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals, which consist of 17 goals that all nations within the UN body framework would like to ideally accomplish by 2030. The 17 goals include really well-known agendas such as hunger, poverty, climate change, and biodiversity. And it is guided by 169 indicators, which are little KPIs in a sense, that each country would have a clear benchmark on whether or not they're successful in that Sustainable Development Goal. And the 17 Sustainable Development Goals are divided into 3 categories. They are E for environment, S for social, and G for governance. As the 13th goal of the Sustainable Development Goals, climate change is a goal that will interconnect all of the Sustainable Development Goals, including gender, including biodiversity, including energy, and life on land and life below water. Climate change is the global warming and extreme weather events caused by human activities of fossil fuel burning and deforestation since the Industrial Revolution. It will produce greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, which causes temperature rises since the Industrial Revolution to 1 degree or even 3 degrees, according to the most recent IPCC report. Climate change, the temperature rise within these Industrial Revolution period, it's like a blanket when you sleep. You can't sleep without a blanket or else you will catch a fever. But you can also not sleep if the blanket is too thick. So our goal is to limit the temperature within 1.5 or 2 degrees to make sure that we can sleep at night. As the largest developing nation and the second biggest economy in the world, China is doing a lot in climate change. China has the largest solar panel installation in the world, and it has also pledged to achieve carbon peak by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2060. So how might climate change shape the future of work? Personally, I think there are 3 key stakeholders in everyone's life. They're policymakers, the institution you belong to, and you yourself. In terms of policymakers, they will aggressively introduce ambitious climate policies that will shape a country's emission trajectory. For example, the European Union has introduced the Carbon Emissions Adjustment Tax. This tax will tax corporates based on how much you emit instead of how much money you make. The institution you belong to will then have to introduce green policies and strategies to cope with the policies introduced and to also meet the demands of consumers, which are individuals like me and yourself. Personally, I think youth will play a very important role in terms of policy shaping and of climate change. Personal actions will paint the world you want to live in, from the things you buy to the things you eat and the way you travel. For climate, for those who share it and for those who inherit it.